Good morning. Um, boy, it's like less than a week to Christmas. I can imagine that this year has just gone by so fast. Um, Today, I want to talk about, the whole concept of if I'm the creator of my existence, the master of what happens to me, if I'm always creating things in my life, then why do things happen to me that I would never have asked for? You know, why did my lover leave me? Why did, I have that accident on the highway? Um, why did I, come in contact with someone who had COVID and now I'm sick? Why did, my boss decide that he no longer needed our crew? And, you know, uh, there's all sorts of things that seemingly come into our lives without our, something, things that we, I don't desire that. I wouldn't have asked for that. Why did this show up for me? Um, and we struggle with that. And what happens, of course, is we focus on the negative part of whatever that experience was, because it seems to be so relevant, and it's like I'm only reacting to what's going on. It's not like it's not like I'm producing these thoughts, behind the scenes. Well, you know, when we're come into this life, we there's a part of us, we're pure energy when we come in, and part of us remains connected to source, the pure energy source, and part of us gets into this physical body. And as babies, we learn that when we make an action like crying, we get attention. So crying equals attention. If I want attention, I cry. If I cry in a certain way, my mother will do certain things for me. And so what we learn from that is that we can control our environment by doing certain actions. The problem is that we can't control everything in our environment. You can't control the guy on the road that's, distracted by texting and runs into the side of your car, or you can't control the man standing behind you who doesn't know he has COVID and coughs on you, and all of a sudden you've got it. You can't control, really, you know whether somebody leaves your life or leaves your, relationship, kind of thing. There's so many things that we can't control. And so what happens to us when we see something happen that's uncontrollable, that we don't like, we focus on the negative stuff, which really, because it's an attracting universe, it's a universe where everything that we focus on, we attract more of. So because we're focused on the negative part of it, because that's what's going on in my life, how can I not focus on it? The thing is that we come in here to experience the difference between, what's going on, and so it creates a desire, and that desire creates more expansion, right? And so now, how do you get around that stuff? How do you shift from, you know not reacting to what's going on in your life? Well, you have to take control of your thoughts and your reactions, and you have to deliberately focus on anything that's good. When you're focused on the undesirable, it feels bad because you're not connected to source energy. The more connected to source energy you are, the better you feel. And when you take yourself out of everything is perfect to this is not perfect, this is not what I desire, you pull yourself away from your source energy, and therefore you feel bad. So how do you get back to that? Well, the thing is, when something happens to you, what happens after that experience is you're starting to develop kind of this energy of I don't like this, I don't want this, how horrible is this? Um, and so you get that train kind of rolling along, and now you need to shift so that you slow that train down and reverse the motion. Um, but of course, the more you focus on what's going on, the faster that train's going to go. So you have to kind of step back a bit and go, okay, so what so I COVID has hit, the world is kind of falling apart, and I haven't got a job anymore. I'm destitute, or whatever's going on in your life. And I don't want to obviously bring up the worst case scenarios, but that is happening to people. And so how would they get around that? Well, you have to start thinking about things like, well, out of this situation, people have come into my life that with gifts, with showing me love that I would never have expected. And so there's new relationships that are being formed. There's new appreciation that I have for people that I would never have expected to step up. I've learned how to be more frugal so that when I do, get out of this and get a job, I will be able to get back on my feet faster. You have to look at the things that are the positive aspects of whatever's going on. Um, and anytime that you hold on to a thought for 15 seconds or more of those thoughts are going to come into your mind, because this is a universe of attraction. So the law of attraction takes place all the time. And so when you think, okay, so you think of the loving act that someone did, they gave you something, they fed you, they, whatever, or they comforted you in some way. When you think of that and you concentrate on that, when you bring appreciation into your mental processes, you will attract more things that you can be appreciative of. And from that, the universe will deliver to you more things that you can be appreciative of. And all of a sudden, you'll start seeing miracles show up, because now you're focused more on the miracles, more on the good and the positive, and you're feeling better. And so you're attracting people who want to help you feel better. You know, um, you can walk into a room, at least I certainly can, and I think just about everybody can. You can walk into a room with a bunch of people, and you can kind of feel the person who's being negative. You can also feel the person who's being positive, because you know they seem more vibrant, and the person who's negative just seems to be sucking the energy from the room. And that's it's a real thing going on. When you are in a negative mood, you are sucking in, the energy. You're giving off negative vibrations, and the universe is planting more of that in your environment. When you're appreciative, when you're trying to look for the things that are good, the things that are wonderful. And it doesn't have to have necessarily anything to do with this particular experience. But if you can shift your focus to, hey, um, I had a grandbaby, and I got the opportunity to hold that baby in my, and it just gave me this wonderful feeling of, you know, a joy and excitement of what's going on, of life in this world. And you can hold on to that and you can attract more of that. And then your whole attitude shifts. And now the people around you start to lighten up, and they start to, oh, because now you've got the creative juices flowing. Well, we could do this. We've got all this time. We can learn something new that we can, utilize as a way to make money for ourselves, and so we don't have to be so dependent upon somebody else to give us a job, kind of thing. So that now you're looking at the positive aspects of what has happened to you, and you're beginning to draw more of that into your life, and as you focus on that, the experience of more opportunities will come. And so whenever you kind of revert back, because that's kind of the way we are as human beings, we kind of tend to bring that bad stuff into our life, or it's like, oh, and it could be, anything that triggers it. You go to the cupboard and, oh shoot, I don't have any coffee left. Oh, what can I do? And I don't have any coffee left because don't have a job, and that kind of thing goes on. Um, and so it's like, okay, so now I have the opportunity to begin to appreciate tea, which I never did before, right? um, so we have to be diligent about how our thoughts are, what thoughts we're holding on, what we're concentrating on. And it really behooves us to spend even 15 minutes a day, in the morning, or that, and that's obviously my preference, to just quieting our mind and thinking the positive thoughts, just kind of meditating on the beauty of whatever is beautiful in your life. And there is beauty in everyone's life. I don't care who you are, where you are, what your situation is. you know um, Mahatma Gandhi, imprisoned for years. So many, there's so many you know situations that people have found, um, something to be happy about, even though everything seemed to be going bad around them. And it's all up to your desire. Do you desire to get out of this situation? Then here's what you need to do. You need to find something positive to think about and to focus on, so that you can bring more positive into your life. You have a choice. You can devote your energy to the negative aspects and bring more negative, or you can devote it to the positive aspects and bring more positive. It's entirely up to you. But you're here to learn how to appreciate everything. And so sometimes the things that happen to you that you think you did not want are really just the universe supporting you in learning how to be positively responsive in any situation. The universe is helping you to learn how to bring positive energy into everything in your life. And and again, it may look terrible. It may look like something that's you're never going to get over. And if you hold on to, I'm never going to get over it, yeah, you'll never get over it. And people argue with me. It's like, okay, so, what about babies that die? That's a situation that is devastating. to the people who were involved in that, and the parents and the grandparents, and all of the relatives. How are they going to, you know how is it that they can turn that into a positive event? Well, for everyone, there is a way of doing that. And a lot of times it just is a matter of defocusing on that event and focusing on the love that has come into your life because of that event. But again, it's a conscious choice that you have to make, that you have to, if you want to experience more of positive, you need to focus on positive. I started out, you know, being really energetic, and now I'm thinking about all this stuff. But life is wonderful. It really is. In and and I've experienced just in this last year with with what's been going on, some magnificent, some beautiful, some wonderful things have come into my life just because I've started to learn how to shift my thoughts, and how to, when I get into that negative wavelength, to kind of slow that down and turn it around and bring beauty into my life. And more beauty is coming all the time. And we every year, at the end of every year, we go, okay, so this coming year is going to be the best ever. And here's the thing, a lot of us had a crappy 2020, just events that seem to be beyond our control. So now we have the opportunity to see a wonderful, the world is going to start shifting. We're going to start getting over this pandemic. We're going to start, the businesses are going to, be leaner and meaner, and you know start that economy ball, rolling faster. And so there's going to be more opportunity coming up in 2021, because there's so much energy towards, we need this to happen. We need to change this. We need to, and it's going to be a fantastic year. I really believe that. There's going to be opportunities created out of, this whole COVID experience that never would have happened without it, because people have had to start to think outside of the box. They've had to, they've had to become, get out of that comfortable zone and learn how um, to just reach out and make things happen instead of waiting for them to happen. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. And I wish you guys a wonderful, a fantastic Christmas. And I will talk to you next Monday, 6:45. You guys have a fantastic week.